As important as the techniques are, and the ingredients behind them, croissants are so much more than the sum of their parts, but usually the stories behind them. Today we're at Coho Commissary at Pastry, speaking with 3 of our members, Racel from Leavenly, Audrey from Sweet and Sassy, and Natalie from Merci Boulangerie, to speak about the how, the what, and most importantly the why behind they make their croissants. Let's over to Racel. You know, if we look at the progression of it, I feel like, what's the rating here?
If I were
all the
to...
twice bakes?
Pretty much.
Jimmy! This is hers, this is mine. This is rooted in different traditions, like, and you are super respectful of those. Yeah. Your Filipino twist is based on the fillings. Like, how are you thinking of that, of approaching it? Like, is it very contrasting? Like, what is the most Filipino thing I can add to this croissant?
It's actually reminiscent of my childhood.
Okay.
So, like, when I look at croissants, sometimes I'm like, hey, I feel like I want to have some ubi croissant, and then maybe put coconut in it.
Right.
Make it ubi coconut croissant. In the Philippines, ube is really popular, right? They make this really hard ube halaya. I love, like, we eat those and then we eat it with coconut. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, I can't really find ube like that. Right. So I'll make my own based on the ingredients that I find here.
Love it. And that it's not like overwhelming too, like it's all kind of balanced right there.
Yeah, because sometimes coconut overpowers ube.
Sure.
Because ube has a very subtle taste, right? So we have to experiment on that multiple times before releasing it to the world.
So if we go back to like what makes your ideal croissant and everything too, like you love that it's flaky, it's buttery.
Yep. I want it flaky but not too messy. I want it buttery but not greasy. I like it sweet but not too sweet.
Sound like a haiku.
Damn! Just made a boom!
Thank you so much.
Hey, you're welcome.
That was so fun.
Clean. Yes!
Cool, let me help you clean or something. How cool was Racel? She's a self-taught baker who pays so much attention to detail and the history just to try and connect her childhood and share it with everyone else. But let's head over to our resident vegan pastry chef, Audrey.
I just love, having those feedbacks from people like, oh, we just love waking up, on Sunday morning and bake your croissants as our family breakfast and this and that. That's what kept me going. I didn't start with the idea of launching a business. I started with making my friends here have a taste of my French tradition and making them living for my daughter.
It's beautiful, everything is so streamlined with you.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's my Capricorn side. It needs to be square.
Oh, you're a Capricorn?
Yeah.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah, man.
I like precision. It needs to be, 3?
Oh,
nice.
what, guys? Wow, look at the energy right now.
Yeah. Horn team, team horn or whatever. It sounds weird in English. Like, it sounds way better in French.
Équipe Capricorn.
With vegan products, is it hard? Like, is temperature as big of a consideration? Are all the variables the same, I guess?
For the croissants, it's a little bit less a consideration than with non-vegan ones because the vegan butter, see mine, I keep it here on my shelf. It doesn't need to be in the fridge, like it's shelf stable at room temperature.
Right.
So if it's too hard, it's gonna get complicated, but at room temperature, it's just the right texture.
You didn't grow up vegan, right? You became vegan. Like, how much does nostalgia play into the overall factor of what you make now?
I actually started baking when I went vegan. I was never really a sweet tooth, still not. So that's good. I would probably gain a pound per week. But yeah, I guess having a daughter, I just wanted to transmit, to her family traditions and what I grew up with.
Like, I get it's always an learning process, but when did you feel comfortable to actually say this is done, this is my croissant?
I don't know if it's the fact for everybody into food, but I never feel fully satisfied, so I'm always improving.
And that strong Capricorn energy too. But
Yeah, probably, yeah, perfectionist, right? It sounds silly, but you know, when I see all of them laid like that, like all symmetrical, see that one is almost perfect. I don't know, they're cute, you know, it's like I always have 50 babies per day.
what does an ideal croissant for you?
The ideal croissant for me, you only know when you cut it open.
Cool.
Like if the webbing is even with like big air pockets, but not too huge.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see the layers.
Right.
And yeah, it needs to be crunchy outside, soft and a little bit chewy inside. But there is, what I like the most is, that's why I use fresh yeast, is that taste of, you know, like fermentation. There's a slightly taste of fermentation inside, kind of sour. And that's what I like the most.
Oh, feels so relaxed after talking to Audrey. It's so cool how intentional she is with everything, from how she treats her staff to how she is feeling before she makes her croissants, and how all that kind of translates into her product that she just wants to share with the world. Let's go see a very classical approach to croissant and hang out with Natalie.
Anywhere you go, you belong.
Has there been one thing that kind of just took off and you never really thought it would?
Our babka, so that's a direct thing from Mamiche in Paris. And I've had quite a few people say, oh, I got this at Mamiche and now I saw here and I found you on Instagram and you worked at Mamiche and now I tried it, like this weird connection.
Did you grow up eating a lot of like very French-based pastries too, or?
My grandmother was actually born in a bakery.
What?
During the war, they lived on the French-Spanish border. And my great-grandfather was a baker.
Please don't send me home.
Not even?
Not
you got
even.
one more to go.
Okay. I think we're pretty tied up, honestly, so.
Oh, yeah, we're done. There is so much butter in here. There you go.
Is there like a ratio or a weight, or is it?
I can't tell you that.
It's your secret.
Those are the top secret.
Oh, fuck, really?
I don't
That's
know if any
amazing.
baker will ever tell you how much butter is actually in their croissant, then
That's
you'll never
insane,
eat
though.
them.
Oh, fair enough. Like, I guess with this recipe, like, how long did it take you to figure it out until you're like, yeah, this is my croissant recipe, like, this is my shit?
I still tweak it based on the season. But when I first started, because it was a recipe that I had taken from France, I remember Steve goes, oh, are you using a French recipe? That's never gonna work. I felt so defeated because I come in here thinking, okay, I'm gonna use this, it's gonna be great, and then it just looked like absolute shit.
Wait, why doesn't it work if it's a French recipe?
Our flours are different.
Oh.
They have a lot more, I'm not gonna pretend like I know. I don't know what they have a lot more of, but we finally got here. I had to add some different flour in.
What is like your perfect croissant kind of thing?
I love it because I love to eat it, but I'm like taken back to being in France and like these are just, you eat these every morning, you have it for breakfast, I don't know, it's just something about being in France and, you know, sitting with the other bakers on just like the little, you know, the door stoop, and everyone has an espresso and half of them are smoking and the sun's just coming up and you're just biting into these warm croissants.
Really just sounds like, you know, it's a whole experience eating it, honestly.
Yeah, which obviously it's very hard to take people there, but I'm trying to create that same product.
Yeah. Okay, what do we do today? We learned a little, we did what we did best and stood out of the way. We met 3 of our members and all the crazy stories and all the passion that goes into making their products. If you had fun, and as much fun as I did, subscribe down below, say something in the comments, and whatever you want to see, we'll try and make, and hopefully I don't get fired before then. See you later.
Anywhere you say,